Hey everyone, Nimblebear here, and welcome to yet another one of my tutorial videos. And today I will show you how you can create your own custom melee weapons. Now I guess this will be a follow-up video to my latest tutorial, that being the full guide to custom guns and all that. And in this video, yet again, I will teach you how to make the same thing but with melee weapons. Now, all the things in this video should be similar to the previous one. However, I do want to dig a little bit into details in some places, like here and there. And I also will be maybe just kind of showing off and making a crash test. How is this called? Crash course, whatever, of how basically the gizmos work, what you can do with your melee weapons and all that cool stuff. However, I will not be testing weapons as they are in, like, let's say this PvP kind of area. In this video at least I'm not going to do that, because that is for a different video. That is all about the game rule game rule chip that Rec Room has made like a while back. And if you want me to cover that chip as well, just tell me down in the comments below. Now I know I've been talking for quite a while now, but I do want to mention that since apparently Star for some reason just decided to shut down the entire tutorial making thingy here in Rec Room, so yeah, just don't expect much quality from me here today. I mean, just for no reason, he did this. Why? Also, Star, you owe me, you know that? I don't want to make it a big deal, but really, Star, you told me that you are going to give me the tier 2 gown, and I'm yet to receive it. Star, why would you do me dirty like that? Come on. Anyway, with that out of the way, again, don't expect much quality here. It's just me not really prepared, I guess, just going with the flow. And yeah, let's get started, I guess. Ah yes, a blank canvas. Finally, we meet again. Now, to start things off, you want to, well, get your weapon first of your choice that you're gonna use for, well, your particular reasons that I cannot comprehend why you would do that. Now first we're going to get the weapon of our choice, and that, well, can be any melee weapon that actually works, like a fish, or maybe even any like breakable things. They are kinda melee, but I would not recommend using them. Well, maybe an or two, for example. You can also get a cutlass, another example of a breakable object that I would not really recommend, but you can still use it. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with a normal basic ass sword. Now next we're just gonna get ourselves a gizmo. Yeah, you do that. Yeah, I don't know really what we're expecting from this video, but yeah, you will need a gizmo, any type of gizmo, I don't care, except maybe the animation gizmo. However, it's very good when you, I don't know, want to make an instant respawning kind of mechanism thingy, but I mean, it's not really necessary, at least not in this case. Now, I'm usually using the clamp gizmo or the look at gizmo, because you can't really go wrong with them. Yeah, well, we're just gonna stick with the clamp gizmo for reasons. Now lastly, we're just gonna need an object that you, well, created. I hope you created already as a thing for your custom sword, or, well, a melee weapon. Now I cannot really be bothered creating anything, so here's a thing that I made like 1,000 years ago that I'm gonna use in this example. Great. Now, so these are literally the only things you need in this tutorial, or, well, when it comes to creating melee weapons. But however, I do want to go through a little bit of a crash course, or crash test, whatever, I don't know what it's called, with the gizmos. Hello again. So when it comes to gizmos over here, well, to use them you will basically have to connect any object, or basically anything that you create, to the gizmo to, well, I guess, make the object that you want move, or maybe rotate, or maybe, I don't know, whatever. So, and to do that, you usually do what? You take connect, of course, and that is right over here. I'll show you. Right over there. So you take connect, right? Yeah, it's connect, and you connect the, well, your object of choice to the yellow pin on top of the gizmo over here. I'm using C1 gadgets, by the way, or, well, Gizmos in this case, because I don't know, it's just a lot simpler in my opinion. You can also do the same thing with the CV2, however they look a little bit different and you have to connect them a little bit differently, which I'm not going to do. Yeah, so now basically these two thingies are connected together, the gizmo and the object of choice. And now to make the actual moving mechanism, right, to make the object move, you will have to play around with these variables over here. So the one to the yeah, so the red one on top over here is an on-off switch basically, and the one at the bottom, the green one, is I guess the speed at which the rotation will happen, because this is a rotation gizmo or rotator. So yeah, you can also just simply configure these pins over here to whatever value you want. So that's very easy. In fact, you take a configure tool over here, and you just select number over here, which is, well, in our case it's 0 at the moment, and you just can choose over here what value you want. Sorry for getting so up close to you, but this is what you'll get from videos like these. Anyway, as you can see over here, it says on off, and you can set a signal right over here. You can put any value to I guess turn on or off the switch over here, or the pin, however you want to call it. I just gonna call it the switch, I don't know. So any number that is like a positive number that can go literally any, you can put any number in here. It can literally be an endless number as long as it is possible. I mean positive. It will be on. If it's a negative or a 0, it'll be off. In fact, I'm not quite sure about the negative numbers. Anyway, so 0 is off, 1 is on. Let's just say that. It's a lot easier for both of us to understand, because I'm not a circuiteer and neither are you. Now, so the gizmo is on, but as you can see, nothing is really happening. Why is that? It's because the speed is literally 0. Now, if we configure the speed, rotation per minute, that's what it says over here. Yep, that's a rotation per minute. Yeah, it's gonna just set how many rotations you want it to make per minute. And let's just say, I don't know, 50 rotations per minute. That sounds good. And as soon as we drop the maker pin, because you don't see it on the camera, but I have the gizmo selected, as soon as I drop the maker pin, it should start spinning. There you go. And now, why do you need to know this information about gizmos and how they connect to objects and how they rotate? Well, you don't need to know why they rotate. Anyway, let's turn this thing off for now, before I keep talking about what I was talking that I definitely did not forget about. I'm sorry, someone keeps interrupting me every single time, so I'll just start again. Now, you do not need to, well, do anything particular with these pins over here and their values, like what value they hold. All you need to know when it comes to making your own custom melee weapons is how you connect the object to the gizmo, and why actually we need to do that. So the gizmo is actually two things at the same time, that being the yellow part here on top and the base of the gizmo. Now, by connecting the object of our choice to the yellow part, we can move the gizmo and the object will move along it. It's always like that. There's no other way around it. It's always like that. Just don't worry about it. But now, if we were to connect the object to the base of the gizmo, then the opposite would happen. We can move the gizmo around, but the object would not move. But if we move the object, now the gizmo moves along it. Now you see where this is going, right? Now, I want to point out that it was a very dumb idea of me to choose a trident as a melee weapon. You will see why in a moment, but yeah, let's get into connecting these two, shall we? Yeah, so this entire process is quite delicate, just to let you know, because when working with props like these, as you can see, first of all, they don't quite have this perfect collision. As you can see, I'm pointing right at the base of the sword, but it's somehow over here. I don't understand it. Anyway, yeah, it is quite delicate because of that reason, and because we also will have to connect them in a certain order. Yeah, order, that's right. Now, first of all, just pick up your weapon, place it in the air as you see fit. I'll put it like this, for example, and then freeze it. The object is now frozen right in the air, and what we can do now is take our weapon of choice that I hope you made already, because I'm not making a tutorial on how to build, because come on, you have to do it yourself. Well, actually, now that I think about it, you can ask me to make a tutorial on all the building tools and how to build a little better, or how to improve at your building skills. So just let me know down in the comments below, and I'll definitely make a tutorial on this as well. Now, I would recommend being very precise when connecting your weapon, well, I mean prop, to your weapon, because then the collision will be better. But yeah, this is just an example. I'm not going to do that. Here's an important step. So now that you've aligned, oh yeah, by the way, you have to align your two weapons together so that they would match. And now the important part is, well, configuring the object that you've created to decoration. It is very important step, because you do not want any unnecessary collision happening and just mess up the entire melee weapon that you're creating, right? It also just empties up a little bit of space in here, you know? It gives you a little bit more ink to work with, so that's a very good thing. The decoration configuration, that is. And now it is time for our gizmo to actually come in play. Now, it doesn't really matter where this gizmo is located at, as long as you keep it close to the weapon that you're creating, then it's all good, because then you'll have all these things like tidy up and all close to each other and all that stuff. Now we're just going to connect all these things. Okay, now I'm sorry. You will have to freeze the prop before, but when it comes to connecting, you will have to unfreeze it. I'm sorry, yeah, I forgot about that. Now, when you unfreeze the object, it will automatically select it, all right? And now, while it's selected, make sure it has to be selected, all right? And while it's like this in the air, you go over to connect, and you connect the sword to the base of the gizmo, and then you can freeze the prop back. And now you take from the tip of the gizmo and connect it to the object that you created. It usually will connect to the nearest, I believe, pivot point. Let me see that real quick. Yep, there's a pivot point over there, and now all these things are technically connected. And now we can just unfreeze the sword, drop the maker pen, pick up the sword, and voila, we have a turkey sword with a trident attached to it. Now, I know this looks stupid, but trust me, this is like the basic mechanism of what you need to do when it comes to connecting an object to the weapon of your choice. Now, how to avoid ugliness like this one, for example? Well, first of all, it's probably the best idea to turn off skins, like me, for example. Yeah, so turn off the skins in your backpack. And by the way, one thing to mention, I found out how to fix the collision of the sword. You just, as soon as you spawn in, you have to just grab it and then drop it again, and that's it. It just fixes the collision somehow. And now comes the quite interesting part, which is like a double-edged sword. So if you have a long stick just like me, then it's probably just a bad idea to use it as a melee weapon, because you will have to hide the prop of your choice inside of said object. Rec Room does not have any configurations that hide the prop itself, so that's why we will have to kind of go around it. At least not now. It doesn't have any of these configurations now, although I do believe they might do that at some point. But anyway, you scale down either the prop to the respected size of the object that you chose or that you created, and then you just basically try to scale it down a little bit if you feel the need to, and then you just hide it inside of your weapon, and that's pretty much it. Make sure it doesn't stick anywhere out. And now, while it's selected, we can again look a little bit kind of inside our objects. Grab the grab the sword again and connect it to the base, and yeah, drop the maker ring. That's it. Now it's all working properly. So yeah, now the problem is that this is a bad weapon because our sword is very small and it's basically going to work like a dagger. However, there is a way to put like a few, for example, on the edges over here. I mean, on the so you can put a few trigger volumes here on the edges, or trigger zones, as I believe they're called now, and just do some fancy circuiteering with them to add like a specific damage output that they deal. But however, you do have to be aware to not stab yourself, because that is a threat, and there is really no way to go around it. In my advice, it is the best to create a weapon that's in proportions kind of similar to the weapon of your choice. I mean, the prop of your choice, because otherwise things like these will happen. That's first of all, and second of all, the collision will be all very bad and very uncomfortable. Now, yeah, when I was talking about making a weapon that fits the proportions of your prop of choice, yeah. Again, you can customize it as much as you want and make it as beautiful as you want. It's just I don't have time to do that. So yeah, we do the same thing like we did before with the example shown before, but this time we're going to use a full size of our prop over here. Yeah, we're just gonna try to align it as much as possible to the object. Yep, something like that. Now we just have to make sure that there is no place where any part of the sword sticks out of the object, and yeah, that just looks about right. So we just connect that to the pin. Again, as always, make sure it is set to decorational, the object that is, and then when you're ready, when you're done, just unfreeze your prop, drop the maker. I did not connect the other thing, sorry about that. Connect the sword to the base of the gizmo, and now you can drop your maker pen. There you go. There's your sword thingy, custom sword, and custom melee weapon for that matter. And yeah, why don't we test this thing out? Now, let's test the weapon out on some of the enemies over here. So I've just basically made a small circuit, I guess, with the goblins spawning in when I press this button. And I'm not going to test this out on people, because again, this is a thing for another video, where I'll show you how to use the game rules chip. Yeah, again, just let me know down in the comments below if you want this tutorial, because I'll gladly make it. And yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I don't know what you expected. I don't know what else you expected. I mean, this sword works. Alright, so these are basically the basics of making a custom melee weapon, and in fact, just any weapon. But now I'm going to... Wow. But now I'm going to show you how you can customize, or maybe even just do some crazy stuff with your weapons in general. Again, this is a follow-up to the previous tutorial, that being the full guide on making guns or custom guns. And yeah, so this is a follow-up, and now I will just show you how you can customize all these weapons in general. And now for this example, how you can customize all your weapons, I'm going to spawn in my double-barreled shotgun. It kind of works. It doesn't really damage anybody, but it does have pallets that each individually hit their own spot. It does have a reloading system, kind of. I say kind of because this is just a prop. It is not like an actual working gun, because otherwise I would just breaking my head over it. Yeah, I'll just show you that right now. Now this beauty right here in particular uses CV2 for this, so I'll do my best to explain what is actually happening here. But first I want to show you how this thing works in general. So here we go. Yeah, this is a double-barreled shotgun that is just really a prop and not much else. Now, you probably heard in the beginning of this showcase, I guess, that it has a sound effect, just like this. And now, how I did that is I used the CV2 handle over here. So that is connected to the SFX V2, which is playing the like Rackorel pickup sound or whatever, equip sound. This is the main gizmo that has all of these things connected to the tip, that being well, it holds all of the needed components to this gun in general, and then the base is connected to the handle, you know, because, well, of course, we're holding the double-barreled shotgun by the handle. Now you will see these two trigger volumes over here. One is very long. There is no reason why it's so long. I just made it like that. Don't question it. And then there's a small one right over there at the bottom. So this one activates the animation and equips these two shells on my hand, and this one just disables the two shells on my hand. This entire animation uses 4 shells in total. So the 2 that jump out of the double-barreled shotgun, and the other 2 that are hidden inside of the barrels that just kind of appear out of nowhere. Yeah, and that's basically the illusion of reloading the double-barreled shotgun. Well, that's at least how I made it, because again, this is just a prop. It's not supposed to work. And now this part is my favorite. Here are a lot of connected laser pointers. Yeah, that's right, rangefinders. Here are a lot of rangefinders that are connected to this gizmo over here, and each of them have their own pistons that detect, well, basically the range from the double-barrel shotgun, or the actual barrel of the shotgun, to the wall. And if I move this dot around, it will also move the piston, which is a very cool little detail. And the piston is holding this thingy over here. What do you think this thing is? This is the CV2 emitter that, well, emits the kind of this flashing fog, kind of palette hitting surface effect. What is actually happening here is one rangefinder is made, well, I mean, this entire circuit of one rangefinder and all of these guys is made only for one palette, and that means that all of these palettes have their own designated positions, I guess, but they do not have a random spread. However, you can easily add a random spread by just making a small circuit with a rotating gizmo that kind of rotates all of this, all of these like gadgets and gizmos in general, and that is kind of the effect of a random palette hitting surface effect thingy, but I just can't be bothered to do that. And again, this is only just to show you that what you can just add to your weapons in general. But coming back to the melee weapons, you can basically do the same thing with, like I did with a double-barrel shotgun, but with a melee weapon and some CV2 magic. I don't know much about CV2, however, I am learning, and I might make a tutorial, like advanced tutorial on this thing. So again, just tell me in the comments, I will figure it out all myself, and then I'll make a cool little tutorial for you. So yeah, again, quick little recap. You need a prop of your choice, then a gizmo. It doesn't matter what gizmo, except the animation gizmo. Connect the base to the sword, then you take the object or a weapon that you create of choice. Try to hide the prop inside of the weapon, connect the weapon to the tip of the gizmo, and that's it. You're all set. And also remember to put your object to decorational and not environment or whatever. And this is how you can create your own little melee weapons. I know that this tutorial wasn't really complete, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't with much detail. However, I did provide you with some, I don't know, maybe inspirational examples that you can probably use in your weapons. And again, I'm just giving you the basics of making a melee weapon. If you want to check out how to make a ranged weapon, I'll leave a link to my video tutorial down in the description below, or maybe I'll put like a flag over here. I'm actually doing this for the first time, if I'm actually doing this, so it's gonna be somewhere here, I believe. No, it's gonna be over here, I'm sorry. All of these tutorials are basically dependent on you. If you wish to dig more into that, you know, if you want to learn more about that, just tell me, and I'll do basically all the homework for you and then provide you with all the answers. That's basically how all of my tutorials go, really. Again, message to the star, please return the tutorial thingies. I'm craving for that red gown over there, and the white one too, I guess. Well, if that's the case, I guess I can improve my tutorial making skills. I'm just saying. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I think this is where I'm gonna end the tutorial on. Well, thank you all very much for watching. I hope this video somehow, at least a little bit, helped you out on making a melee weapon. Again, check out the description below for a previous video, or this flag over here that I've already put in for the ranged weapon video. And let me know definitely let me know down in the comments below if you want a deeper dive into all the like damaging system, I guess, and maybe how to create maybe even a PvP for that map. I don't know. I can try. And yeah, just again, I'm reading all of the comments. Just let me know. I'll probably do a tutorial on that thing too. Yeah, that's my message to you. And yeah, again, thank you all very much for watching. My name is Nimblebear, and I'll see you later. Have a good day.